When I started with Mader, I was labour hire, but I've slowly progressed from field service in the Pilbara. Now I'm field service Goldfields, but they've also internally gave me leadership programs, Section 44. So I've filled in at workshops being supervisor. Now I do leadership roles for shutdowns all over WA. With Mader's flexible rosters, I've been able to change my personal lifestyle with my working lifestyle. When I first started Mader, I was field service, doing big swings, getting money so I could go on holidays and stuff like that, and always having time off when I needed time off. Now I've recently had a kid a year ago. I had a little boy, so Mader's been able to let me move back and do 2-on-1s, more of a family-friendly roster. If you want to work with great people, great pay and great flexible rosters that suit your lifestyle, I'd recommend Mader to anyone.
My entire career I've spent based in Perth, and I haven't ventured too much further than that. But Mader really gave me the opportunity to go forward and test the waters, try some new things. I was looking for a change and wanted to take a step towards mining, and they really gave me that opportunity to work on a whole range of different things. I had a couple of interviews with a few different mining companies, and I decided to go with Mader because they seemed much more personal and they really seemed to care about their employees. And even after 1 week after I'd been at site, my manager called me up just to check in on me and make sure I was doing all right, and that was fantastic. That made me feel really appreciated. I recommend Mader to other people because they're a great company to work for. There is a large variety of job opportunities, nationally, internationally, and different job scopes, different equipment, great pay rates. I think it's fantastic. They really look after their people.
I left a large OEM to come work for Mader on a fixed 2-on-1 mining roster. I'd worked in the Goldfields for approximately 6 months before leaving that roster and then joining an 8 and 6 in the Pilbara. Using the flexibility that Mader provides, I've managed to work as hard as I want to take as much time off as I wanted to travel the world. I've used that time to travel through the States and Canada, Asia and Europe. Working for 2 years in a field service unit, I had the opportunity to join Mader International. I worked in Laos for approximately 3 months, helping, mentoring the locals over there. It was a great experience working in the jungle. Being that, I was able to return straight into a field service unit in the Pilbara. I'd recommend Mader to others. I've enjoyed the flexibility of work, the great pay and all the friends I've made working in the business.
Before I worked for Mader, I'd only ever worked for owner miners, and my perception of contracting companies was pretty negative. I always thought that they were ripe with job instability and limited career progression and those sorts of things. But to be honest, my experience with this company has been completely the opposite of that. For a period there, I wanted to try something new and live overseas in Cambodia. I had the opportunity there. I wasn't sure if work was going to be able to compensate for this, but worked together with the Mader management team, and they basically allowed me to do some floating sort of roles there and just spend 3 weeks in Southeast Asia and then jump over to West Australia and work 2 or 3 weeks. Pretty much basically as I wanted it. And that sort of flexibility was something that was just never really heard of to me. It was an amazing opportunity to live overseas and work in Australia while earning a really good wage. And I just felt so lucky that I was able to work for a company that allowed for this to happen. As well as getting exposure and experience to a massive range of Australian mine sites, Mader also allowed me to go over in Zambia and help out as a mentor and a technician over there, which was just a completely different experience, something I'd ever had before in Australia, and something that really propelled me in my personal growth, and some memories that I'll actually have for the rest of my life. More recently, I was looking for some new challenges in a different form. So I applied for a coordinator role in the office at Mader, which I was lucky enough to be successful at. And this role has been a massive change in my career direction. I've been managing a team of just over 100 people working in the Pilbara. And I previously didn't believe that Mader had these sort of opportunities within the business.
Started out in labour hire division, where I went around different mine sites in the Goldfields and Pilbara regions. From there I managed to get across to a field service ute and spent a bit of time going to different mine sites, doing various jobs, and after a couple of years of doing that, Mader put me on a Section 44 supervisor's course where I learned how to manage people on the job, and from there it just grew strength to strength. One of my first supervisory roles was a massive demob of one of the mine sites up past Port Hedland, and that company that employed me, they used me on all their different mine sites after that as a supervisor in their workshops, sometimes with up to 50 people. after I spent a couple of years doing that, I had my name on a list to go over to Africa and spend some time in our international division. I went over to Zambia for 2 years where I spent time coaching the locals and teaching them how to look after their own equipment. So hopefully one day they could do it on their own and without the help of expats over there. After I spent 2 years in Africa, I came back to Australia and jumped back into field service ute and went back up north to the Pilbara. I've been doing that since. And yeah, I love coming back to Australia for the variety of work. You can't get more variety anywhere else than here. I recommend Mader to anybody else because management here are pretty much friends more than they are bosses, and you can call upon them anytime you need to get assistance. And yeah, like I said, the variety, it's second to none.